Hey guys, so today we're gonna try to inspect this Volkswagen Jetta 2010 to see just how much money it might cost to restore it. Why might I want to do that? Well, I'll certainly explain when I'm done inspecting. But right now I just want to figure out how much will it cost me to fix this thing, to take care of everything that's wrong with it, to make it nice again like when I first bought it. Anyway, here we go. So as you can see, we have clear coat in multiple places peeling off of the car. The wheels as well. Got some clear coat peeling off. So those are gonna have to be redone. Let's see, clear coat's completely missing on the roof altogether. As you can see, let's see. Even the trunk has a piece of missing clear coat here, right there. This little spoiler piece here has some clear coat that's coming off. This tail lamp right here looks like it's got some moisture inside of it. This one as well. This one's even cracked on the outside. Bumper as well. Somebody rear-ended me. Actually, I've been rear-ended several times in this car. But the last time they obviously cracked the paint here on the bumper, so that's gonna have to be redone. I think pretty much this car is gonna need at least a clear coat for the whole thing, maybe some base coat. Looks like the seal between my antenna and my roof is busted. I expect that might cause a water leak. Let's see, I got a scratch here on my door. More scratches. Yeah, somebody clipped I was parked on the side of the road and somebody just came by and clipped it. Busted my little signal light here. I came outside and this whole thing was just rammed forward. It was frustrating, but I was glad that they didn't do more damage. This wheel's looking pretty good compared to the other ones. We'll wash this thing up too. Clean. Take a second look. So the headlights are nice and fogged. That can be remedied without replacing them, but that is still a cost. Let's see, the grille is kind of faded. You can't really tell. The chrome kind of hides a lot of it. So yeah, this right here, that looks kind of disgusting. So if I wanted it to look like new, as you can see, there's a nice texture, to this back one here, which for some reason has not deteriorated the same way. Maybe because I used this, put my hand on it a lot. Catch the things that are wrong with the interior. Anyone that's familiar with these Volkswagens, you'll immediately notice that these little leatherette or leather pieces on the doors like to come unglued. You can kind of see that this one's come unglued here, so that's a problem. Let's see, driver's seat. Yeah, so I think what I'd like to do is just replace the whole thing. I've got a seat heater issue, that the seat heater isn't working very well. The bottom, of course, is tearing here. I'd like to replace that. Let's see here, steering wheel. Look at that. The steering wheel the cover's coming apart now. This switch here is missing the face. The other one is okay. I found that out because I accelerated one day and this thing just flew into my lap. Anyway, interesting story. Down here on the floor, I don't know if y'all can see. Yep, there it is. There's a hole in the mat that I've worn with my foot, and it's starting to wear through the carpet. So I need to get the mat replaced here. And you can't buy just the individuals from Volkswagen. It comes as a set, unfortunately. Let's see, the driver's seat here. From my perspective, this leather around the shifter is getting a little bit worn. The numbers are completely worn off. So, well, maybe not complete. You can still sort of see faintly, but anybody that doesn't drive this regularly is not going to know that reverse is down and all the way to the left, and first is just right there. So, you know, if I had to have somebody drive my car, they might not know what to do here unless they're super experienced with a manual. This right here, last thing, this right here should not do this. It's supposed to be in gear and it should not move. I fixed the movement side to side, so it was flopping side to side when it was in the gate for the gear, but I still have some play. And this is at the transmission side. The cables on the trans, the grommets where the cable attaches to the lever on the transmission is worn out, so it's causing some play here. So we'll have to get a kit to fix that. I might do a short throw kit and make it, you know, like do this instead of this. So that would be neat. It'd be more like a race car. Dashboard looks pretty good. It's in pretty good shape. I try to keep the windshield covered with these guys, the protectors, you know, because I don't like the dash to get all warped. And you know, here we are. This is 2010. I'm filming this in 2025. It's a 15-year-old car. I'd say it's doing pretty well. As you can see, passenger door, the same thing's happening to the leather here. Let's fire it up and see. Will it start nice and easy for me? Yeah, you hear that? Yeah, that's slow crank right there. The battery is only about a year old, so that right there is gonna be probably either this, you know, start like battery cables or the starter assembly. I'm gonna lean towards the starter assembly because you might notice there's 246,178 miles on this car. And if you can hear, it's actually a diesel. I don't know if y'all can hear that on the video sound. All right, so let's see what my instrument cluster is telling me right now. So let's go into our, here we go, brake error, service now. Yeah, okay, that's probably, I'm gonna scan this thing for codes, but that's probably gonna be my ABS module. Let's see. Add washer fluid. Yeah, we do that. Check left backup light. Yeah, that's what that little bulb indicator is saying. Passenger seat's actually doing pretty well. As you can see, like I haven't had a ton of passengers in this car. I already replaced this guy. This guy broke, so that's been replaced already. Oh yeah, let me look up here. So it would be hard to tell, but all I have to do is tap this, and as you can see, it's kind of loose, and the sunroof will open if the car is on. Also the dome lamp switch, if I don't have it just right, it doesn't work, so we're gonna have to replace that. Headliner, I redid the headliner maybe 8 years ago, and it's starting to actually come apart on me. So I did a vinyl material that, you know, it kind of dried out, started cracking on me, and if I could have maybe picked a different material, I probably would have been okay. Or if I just went back with the factory material, it would have worked out just fine as well. Let's go to the back here. Or before I go to the back, we'll address some of these seals. This one seems okay, surprisingly, because I go in and out of this one constantly. I would think that this would be the worst one. Not actually. All right. Let's go to, yep, as you can see, we have the, you know, the trim coming off there on the passenger rear. And yeah, we have, as I mentioned, we have a little bit of looseness in our seal here where it's come apart. So this seal will have to be replaced if I want it to be like new. Back seat has a little bit of a tear right here. Maybe I can find an upholstery guy that can redo that for me. I also had some sort of oily thing explode on the back seat here. I think olive oil or something I was taking from the store. Let's see. Rear mats are in good shape. As you can see, the other trim piece over there is coming off as well. Let's see here. These. Let's see. That still works. Let's see. This should be a nice cup holder set right here. It comes right down and out. Oh yeah, it looks like something spilled back here. Oh, that's lovely. All right, make sure all that works there. That seems to work. So I noticed immediately right here, we have this harness that's kind of coming apart on me. Yeah, this guy right here. So just a little context, because you're not going to see it today. It hasn't rained recently, but I took up this rear cover mat here and found water just all in there, and you can see the rust around the rim of the wheel there, the spare tire, and of course the rust on my jack. It's been leaking water into the back of this car. So I'm gonna guess that one of the two culprits is gonna be either this harness right here or these guys that we showed you earlier. I got my supplies, extra coolant, a little bit of extra oil. Oh, here we go. I don't know if you guys noticed what this is. This is the guard for the seat belts in the back seat. This apparently has broken off and come to rest here in my trunk. Let's go see that. Oh, yeah. Another clear coat spot there. You can see it needs to be re-cleared on the doors. Oh yeah, there's part of the piece. And yep, there's the other one right there. Yeah, that's supposed to keep the belt from going too far back. It looks like we have a split seal over here too. This shouldn't come out like this. That is way loose. It should do that. It should not come off. And if it does that, it's busted. And I need to go ahead and take care of that. All right. Let's see, make sure there's no water. When the sunroof drains leak on these, this one has a sunroof, as I mentioned with the switch earlier. The water will actually follow, the drain tube goes from the corners of the sunroof all the way up over to the corner of the C-pillar here on the rears, and the fronts go up to the A-pillars up there. So if you see a water leak down in the floorboard on the driver's side or the passenger side, or down here, where you'll find it is it'll be wet on the floorboard underneath these mats, and you can kind of just press on the mat with your hand. There's a jute, like a padded jute underneath this carpet that will start to kind of sweat water if it's been wet. So thankfully it doesn't feel like there's any current water leak. But then again, it hasn't rained in a while, so we'll have to check those again sometime else. Let's check passenger front. Oh, yep, there it is. Busted. Yep, we got a busted seal here. Let's check for water leaks. No water leaks, at least not today. I need it to rain a little more. Everything else in this car seems to be pretty in pretty good condition. Oh, actually, let me take you guys under the hood. All right, coming around, I'm gonna pop the hood here. You can't do a proper inspection without popping the hood. So here we go. All right. This looks like something chewed through my battery cover. Here it is. As I said, the battery is 5 of 24. And so, yeah, it's just about a year old. So I know the battery's good. That slow crank is not the battery's fault. This just comes off real easy. Just, you know, pry on the corners, kind of gentle, and it pops right up. We're gonna pop this and look for any leaks, any fluids spraying anywhere. Set that off to the side there. Okay, that's my oil filter housing for this diesel. And I recently resealed the upper valve cover. Actually, I replaced the whole thing because it has a breather. That's part of it. It's plastic. I figured, you know what, we'll just go ahead and get that replaced so that it solves all my oil leaks. So, and this guy as well, my vacuum brake vacuum pump, or brake booster vacuum pump housing, it was also leaking. It usually leaks between the engine and the vacuum pump piece. And then it was so bad, I think it was leaking from this outer encasement piece there. But let's see. Everything looks good to go. My fuel filter here, nice and dry. Fuel lines, those look good. It's a little grody on here, under here for a 246K vehicle. I would expect nothing less. Nothing really looks out of the ordinary. So I think we're gonna put this cover back on, call it good, at least in that part. My washer fluid is low. That's an easy fix, y'all. Let's see. Coolant, I don't know if you can see. Let's see. Yep, coolant looks good. Looks at just the right level there. That's good news, because I had a coolant leak I had to fix as well. So, all those things considered, this car is doing pretty well. I'm missing some paint on my wiper arm. Yeah, I would like to redo that as well, because if that gets really shiny, well, in most cars, if that gets really shiny, it'll reflect the sunlight right into your eyes. Safety issues. The AC does not work at all. So, light comes on, cold air does not come on. So, but the blower works. Modes work. Yep, it's switching. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but it is switching. Yep, it's down at my feet. There we go. Yeah, so that's a must fix, especially in this climate. Let's check the window function. That looks good. I replaced that that regulator maybe a couple years ago. There we go. Passenger rear works. There we go. Looks like they all work. cool, yeah. And it sounds like the battery's having some trouble here. I don't know. There's another thought that maybe I have the wrong battery in it for the diesel, but I'll figure that out later. All right, y'all. I think we're pretty much. There's plenty of other things I could check. I could check lights. I could check. You know, I know one of my reverse lights is out, but of course that'll come with the assemblies. All kinds of things that I could check. But I think we've got a pretty good, clear picture of cost coming through here. Yeah, so guys, we're done inspecting this Volkswagen that I'm sitting in, and I just wanted to offer some final thoughts and explain why I might want to fix this thing despite the cost. This car was the epitome of, if you've ever heard the saying, you can have your cake and eat it too. The saying was, well, you can't always have the best of all worlds at the same time. You know, if you want to have your cake and also eat it, that's just not a reality. So how was this car a have your cake and eat it too? Well, it's a diesel. It's a relatively small 2-liter 4-cylinder diesel, which in the United States is not the main engine type that they put in cars. So diesels are actually 30% motor to motor, same size, more thermally efficient, which basically means that it's going to use 30% more of the fuel toward mechanical energy than, say, the comparable gasoline car. And what that means is it's super efficient, and on top of the efficiency, it's a turbo and it's a common rail. And with those two technologies, turbo being very old, but the common rail being relatively new, the 2010s were the first diesels that really started coming out with this common rail electronic fuel injection for the diesels. Those two things create a massive power increase and output increase that makes these diesels much more quick and fun to drive. So they're fun cars to drive, and they also are extremely fuel efficient. For example, I get about 43 on the highway with this car, and around town I might get, mid to high 30s. And so it's relatively efficient. And it depends. Sometimes around town I've gotten as high as 45, 50, depending on whether or not I can cruise at regular road speeds, 35, 45 miles per hour. But all that to say, this, like, to get a car this nice, like, it's got the soft touch dashboard. It's not plastic. Really high powered radio with like hi-fi sound from a 10 speaker stereo setup. It's got the bass, mid, and tweeter speakers in the front, and then it's got bass and mid in the back. It's just overall an excellent sound system in here. It's got the leather, well, it's leatherette wrapped steering wheel, the seat heaters. There's just a lot of neat features. For 2010, this was a relatively advanced car. So, I started thinking, okay, what would I pay for a modern Volkswagen SEL level, Jetta? And I can't even get the diesel anymore. So, but if I look, compare apples to apples, and remember that the diesels were probably about $5 or $6 grand more, maybe 5-6 years ago. Well, actually, we'll call it 7-8 years ago is when they stopped making the diesels for the cars. 7-8 years ago, it would have cost you maybe $5,000 or $6,000 more to add a diesel to the car and have the SEL package. So nowadays, that's probably a 10 grand upgrade, maybe 10 or 15 grand upgrade just by itself. And that's after the rest of the car has been accounted for. So what I want to do is I want to look at, okay, what would it cost me to replace this versus what would it cost me to fix this? And it's going to be pricey to fix it, but imagine if I tried to replace it. Anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. This is Mike. I'll catch y'all on the flip side.